Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, we're checking out a brand new release from Tamiya. That's this, the TT02 top of the range SRX, the all singing, all dancing one. Now, the TT02 is supposed to be an entry-level buggy. This kit is the best part of nearly £300. Yes, that's right, £300 for a basic kit. But in this one has lots of extra bells and whistles. So the idea of this video is we're going to take a stock standard cheap 90 odd pound TT02 and we're going to do a direct comparison. We're going to compare every option, every extra bit, then we're going to check out the prices of those parts, and then we're going to build it and see, is it really a bargain or is it a total rip-off? So if you want to find out, stay tuned. Hit it, Charlie.
Nice. Winner.
Right, so the first thing we're going to do before we build it is take a look at what you actually get inside. So the box itself is quite minimalist and quite small. Everything is just put straight into the box. There's no kind of blister pack presentations or anything like that. So first of all, we get a bumper. Then we get the actual chassis itself. So let's have a look and see. Now, as far as I know, yes, the plastics are different. I think this is some kind of composite. But at the end of the day, it's still just a TT02 chassis. Then I've got some racing wheels. This obviously doesn't come in the kit. These are so I can actually take it and run it around a track so that we can see and compare times in another video. Right, we get rims, which is surprising. You don't get any tyres, but we do get actual rims. Now, I don't know if these have actually been produced for anything else. I honestly don't know. They're quite nice. I do like them. I will probably end up putting them on something else. Then, now, are the rest of the trees a different plastic as well, or it's just the same stuff? Looks to be pretty much exactly the same as what you would get on a TT02. Well, those two trees anyway. Right, let's have a look at the other trees. Now, it doesn't take long to build up this kit, so we're going to build it up in this video as well. Now, as from what I've seen online, there's a lot more shims. Tamiya's gone to a lot of trouble to try and shim this kit up to make it a bit more, perform a bit better. These trees look totally identical. Right, and then another tree here. Again, this all looks identical. It's not a different material or anything like that, like the chassis. This is that standard kind of like hard plastic. It's a bit of a shame to see. What else have we got? Then we've got a different bag. Now this is where the kit actually differs quite a lot. Oh, excuse me, let's open it up. So now this kit has total different arms. So it's got an upgraded servo saver, so that I've seen. Now these, what are these? Oh, okay, they're the diff parts. Now this has got upgraded diffs, as far as I know. What is that? I don't recognise that. They look like rear uprights, but they're tiny. Shocks. Now it's a shame for this kind of price that the shocks aren't aluminium, but obviously they are oil. I'm not sure what that is. The arms, completely different arms, these ones. We will go in to see if I can price point these up, so that if you wanted to take a normal kit and convert it or add certain parts, we will go into that as well. I've managed to get a lot of the part numbers, so we'll go through that. Front uprights. So the main difference I can see is really the lower arms, the uprights, that kind of stuff, and then the diffs, and then a lot more shimming and things. At the moment, I'm not overly sold as we go through this. This is the first time I've seen this kit as well. So the diffs, we do get an oil diff in this. That's the servo saver, the aluminium servo saver. Damper oil, then we get the metal prop shaft, but you could pick these up for peanuts, and a few other bits and shims, and it does come with full bearings and universals, and you do get, that's not carbon uprights, I'm not sure what that is it carbon? I honestly can't, no it's not. So you get some different uprights. So not really feeling the money at the moment. And then you get what's that, a spur gear, metal spur gear upgrade, bearings and oil diff. So let's lay it all out and then we'll start to build it. But up to this point, not overly sold. Well, I've laid everything out and there's a few things I've already learned, and that is that the composite parts are definitely, the chassis comes as a composite, which is different to the standard ones. The lower arms that I covered before, they're definitely a composite material. Then the front and rear uprights, they are from the same material as well, and they're tiny, absolutely super small. Another thing that really surprised me after opening up bag A, B and C, D is just the amount of shims that you get in this kit is just so many. I've never seen so many shims in a TT02 kit before. So I get the feeling what they've done is try to tighten up this chassis as best as possible to get rid of as much slop. Now that kind of leads you down the road of who is this kit actually for? Now I've got a few ideas, but before we go into that, let's build it up. Now this is definitely going to take a little bit longer than a standard TT02, as they go together in the best part of an hour. So let's crack on and get it built. So there you go, I've got the basic chassis done, and this is a standard TT02 that I have to compare it against. Now from a price point of view, you're looking at 120 or maybe even a little bit less than that, if I'm honest with you, with 300 to 320 pound. Now I've just put an old body on it for the time being. Now you will see this in an upcoming video as we're taking it YouTube racing. Yes, I'm going to be racing other YouTubers using a stock build, which is a TT02, pretty much standard, everything apart from bearings and racing wheels and tires. But you'll just have to wait for that. If you haven't already, subscribe and you'll see this soon. So let's just take a look at the standard chassis versus the top of the range and see if we can really justify that cost. Now, from a build point of view, a little bit of finicky, lots and lots of shims, and you need a set of calipers to check which shims, because sometimes you've got to put a 3mm shim and then a 1mm shim, then a 1/2mm shim. So you've got to get the right ones. You don't really want to be guessing, otherwise you'll end up putting shims in the wrong place. Same with the ball joints as well. Which ones you use, the short ones, the long ones. There was a few getchers, and one of them was when you're building up the spur gear, you've got to make sure you put the correct pin in. If you put the small pin in, it will have a bit of slop in it, and then later on you'll go to use that in the diff in the rear, and yeah, it won't fit. So make sure you get the right pin. I put the wrong one in and had to go back and fish it out. So that was one that caught me out. The main ones really is the running gear. Basically what you're spending all that extra money on is, obviously, you've got a oil diff in the back, then you've got the prop shaft, the prop shaft ends, then you've got the drive shafts. These are all upgraded from the standard plastic that you get. They are lovely, and shimming everything up is, you know, is nice. It is better than the stock one, but it does feel very expensive. Now, there is one aspect that makes it even more complicated is, could you just get a TT02 and then just buy and cherry pick a few bits and pieces? Well, you can, but it's not as straightforward as you think. Now, the arms, for instance, they're off the TRF-420X, and you can buy those as a pack. But to make them fit on this chassis, there's lots of extra little bits and spaces that you need. Now, you will be able to get hold of them, but I don't think they come in that pack, because that pack is just designed to go on a set number of other cars, and then Tamiya's taken that kit, that set, and then adjusted it to fit this one. So you're going to have to hunt down the extra spaces that are needed. So that can make it a lot more challenging. It's not just a turnkey solution if you want to put these arms on a standard TT02. So if you're very interested in those arms and you like that aspect of the TRF and you'd like to have it on this car, you're better off just buying this kit. And I think that's a big part of this kit, is there's so many little shims and little extra bits and pieces that you need. Hunting them down is going to be a real pain. Now, from a price point, if you actually sit down and work out all those parts, yes, it's cheaper to buy the kit. That's kind of obvious. Now, I did go through a list of other bits and pieces that are in the kit, but there's so many, it would just take so long. So I'll put it up in the screen that I went through a certain amount of them. The TT02 54s, £17.54, 22049, which was £30.70, 22047, which is £31.32, and it goes on and on and on. So yeah, if you were going to try and do this from scratch, it would be a very expensive way to do it. So is it a bargain? Well, the problem is you've got some really good options. You could pick up a TC01, for instance, as a kit, comes with a body and everything, and that's going to cost you £239, which is nearly £80–90 in the UK, cheaper than that kit. And that comes with a body, tyres and everything. Also an ESC. A bit more closer to this kind of kit is the TA08 Pro. In the UK, they're £279 right now, which is a bit of a bargain. Now, some of you have commented from other countries that that is a lot different. It's a lot more expensive in your country, but in the UK, you could pick up a TA08 Pro, £279, and you're going to be, what, £35 have £35 still in your pocket than picking up this. So that makes it a bit more of a harder sell as well. I'd like to have seen a few extra little bits in this kit. The metal motor mount would have been a nice touch. Now, the people that I think are going to buy this, I think I covered this a little bit before, really it's going to be the collectors. I can't see these selling many, and if this is going to be the last TT02, having the top of the range one in your collection, which is what I'm going to do. Now, a lot of you think I hate the TT02, and I don't, but I want to have one in the collection, and if I'm going to have one in the collection, this is probably the one that I want to have. So I will keep this one. It won't get sold on. I will actually have it. I just need to figure out what kind of body to put on it. And the other type of people that are going to purchase this is someone who wants to go dedicated TT02 racing at a club. And I think if that's the case, that's the real value, that if you're going to go racing and you're going to get a TT02 because everybody's racing TT02s, then it has more value because you're getting the car with enough bells and whistles on it, with all the extra arms and the running gear and stuff like that, so you can justify the cost. Whereas you would normally buy the TT02 with a standard kit and then you would spend loads upgrading it anyway. So then it kind of has a bit more value. So yes, it's very niche indeed. Now I need to figure out what body to put on it. Anyway, thanks so much. Massive thank you to Rochester RC for sponsoring this video. If it wasn't for them, there's no way I'd be able to get this one on the show to give us a deep dive into this kit. So go check them out next time you're going to buy anything. Also, I've got a 5% discount, and if you're in the UK, you can get free shipping. I'll put a link in the description. Thanks very much. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.